We have been on a roll with this soul sucking job series, and we are back for another one. I want you to understand the real cost of what it takes to stay versus leaving. And sometimes we don't understand the cost of something until we see the visual of it and the actual impact that that thing is having on our life. I am quite literally over here celebrating the 3 days that I have off of work. Thank you, Dr. King, for your service and your commitment. I'm celebrating these 3 days off of work because not just the fact that I don't have to show up to my soul sucking job, it's the simple fact that it gives me 3 days to continue to work on my exit strategy, which I'm bringing you along the journey with me. So if you are someone that needs to exit, it's time. I'm about to show you why it's time. Sign up for the email below in my bio because, honey, we're doing things different in 2026. We're loving ourselves, we're no longer self abandoning, and we are committed to what we deserve and what we desire. So, everything comes with a cost, right? There's a cost to stay in our current situation, in our current reality, in our current feelings, our current emotions. There's a cost to stay in the person that we actually are now today, and there's a cost to leave. Everything comes with a cost. Leaving could cost discomfort, leaving could cost financial change, either up or down. Leaving could create freedom. There's so many words that I could put out before you, but I want to show you what it actually means to stay in your current situation. If you're anything like me, maybe right now you realize, oh, the company's nice, but the container of the job just doesn't work for you. It leaves you mentally depleted. You are giving 100% to something you feel is not giving 100% back to you. You can't clock in early, but you can stay late. You are working past your 40 hours a week. You're coming home exhausted. Maybe you're driving to Starbucks, sitting outside in the parking lot under the light, decompressing so you don't have to talk to anybody. You need time to yourself once you finish working to recharge your batteries. Maybe you're just over it and you've given so much time to something that you feel hasn't given time back to you and it no longer aligns anymore. I want to show you what it's really costing you besides that paycheck you get every 2 weeks in that Chase bank account to stay. So, when we look at the cost of staying in our current reality and our soul sucking jobs that no longer aligns, it's costing you managing your feelings and managing your reaction. You're editing what you say before you even say it. You're not allowing yourself to feel comfortable in expressing your full thought. Maybe you have a leadership team that doesn't receive the things that you have to say, right? So that's causing you to operate outside of who you actually are. You're afraid to tell them what you don't want to do. They're asking you, hey, can you stay a little bit later? Hey, can you work a little bit more? No, I actually can't, but I'm not actually telling you I can't because I'm afraid of what you're going to say to me if I tell you that I can't. Fake laughing, that takes a lot of energy. I caught myself doing that once and I'm like, girl, why did you do that? It wasn't even funny. Nodding along when you disagree, internal conversations that you don't react to, but you have to tell yourself, stay calm, be reasonable, don't let this set you off. We have to literally talk ourselves through situations and conversations in the moment that we may have with our coworkers, with customers, with members. That's a lot. You're performing the right version of yourself. You're showing up as who they want you to be. You're not showing up as who you actually are. So that means that you're operating with a mask. You're one way when you wake up in the morning feeling rejuvenated and refreshed. You had your devotional time. Maybe you read Psalms. Okay, maybe you listened to your meditation music. You got your coffee on the way to work or your tea and your matcha. You pulled up, and I mean, you ain't even been there for 1 hour. And it's like, let me throw extra in there. You're keeping your opinions to yourself. You're not actually expressing what you want to say. You know you have experience in that area and you know they're doing it wrong. But hey, that's not your business, right? Okay. You're dressing, talking, and acting in ways that legit feel like a costume. You're monitoring your enthusiasm. You don't want to be too over the top, but you don't want to be too even kill. You're trying to low key fly under the radar so nobody really sees you, bothers you, or says anything to you because you don't really want to be there anyway. You're code switching through your own life. Guilty of that. I hate that for me, but I'm guilty of it and I recognize it. And hopefully you recognize it too. When we don't flow in who we actually are, we are operating outside of ourselves. And we are once again giving power to the thing that we don't even want to give 100% to, but we keep giving 100% to it every single day. You're shrinking or amplifying parts of yourself depending on the room that you're in. Maybe you have a boss that's, they're a little comfortable, they're a little lax. You feel safe. It's a safe space, right? So you're one way with them, but you're a different way with other people because they haven't exactly created the leadership space for you to feel like you can flow in. And then we're recovering after each day. You know, when you clock out, you get in the car and you have that deep drive home, and you either drive in silence, you listen to some lo-fi music to recover, you talk to no one for hours until you are ready. Sometimes you don't even have the energy for your kids, but you know you got to pick them up because you just got off of work and you got to push through. You got to act like things are fine, but deep down inside, you're mentally exhausted, you're physically drained, and you're not happy. You're stopping by the store to pick up a bottle of wine to drink for the rest of the evening, pour you a glass or two, right? Maybe a Cabernet Sauvignon if you're feeling a little, okay? You need hours, hours, hours to decompress just to get yourself back to yourself, to literally do it again in 12 hours later. You're scrolling mindlessly to decompress. Maybe Facebook is your jam, maybe Instagram is your jam. You're online to just take your mind off of your reality and look at somebody else's. You're venting to the same friend about the same situation over and over again, or your husband, or your boyfriend, or your partner. Baby, if you like me, I'm venting to Cardi, to the dog, because yes, she got to hear what I got to say. And then the weekends are spent preparing to go back to work instead of actually living and enjoying the weekend. So it's almost like you didn't have a day off, or you had one day off and you have mentally worked 6 days. Let's talk about the mental load of someday, the someday I'll leave. If you're a somedayer, I know this is for you. You'll run daily calculations on how much longer can you do this? What does it take? How much more money do you need to make to be able to give your notice in the next 3 weeks, in the next 3 months, in the next 30 days? You're Googling exit strategies at 2 in the morning, trying to figure out, okay, what do I do? But then you're trying to figure out where do you start, right? Because you're so disconnected from yourself. Maybe you don't fully know what you want to do. Or maybe you do know what you want to do, but you don't know how to get there yet. The fantasy scenarios of what you'll say when you finally leave and you finally give them that notice, you literally play that in your head over and over again. And then you start to justify why maybe you shouldn't leave because there's a little bit of fear there because you've grown some comfort. There's fear of stepping out into the unknown. There's fear as if, what if it works out, which we know we want it to. There's fear around change. There's underlying fear to the decision that you know you're going to have to make. You're researching alternatives, but you're not acting on the alternative options. And then you're defending your choice to stay. You're defending your choice to stay to you. You're defending it to your partner. You're defending it to your friends. But you know, deep down inside, there's really nothing to defend. It's time. So let's talk about the actual job itself. What you got hired for. They hired you for the role because you're experienced. They hired you to help those people. They're paying you for a skill set that you have because they don't have the time to do it. And they know that you're good because they know you're the person for the job. They know you're dependable. They know you're reliable. They know you've been doing this for over 10 years. They see it. This is the actual job itself. And this is everything that you're managing within the actual job that you got hired to do. Does that seem off to you? It seems off to me. So the truth is, you're spending quite literally 90% of your energy managing your energy and managing your emotions. And you're spending 10% actually doing the job and doing the thing that you were hired to do. This is the cost of staying, my friends. This is what it's costing you to continue to stay at this job every single day for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, for the next 12 months. Is this worth the cost? I don't know. Actually, I do know, but I want you to know. So if we look at the cost of staying, we need to look at the cost of leaving. What is it going to require you to leave? Because, like I said earlier, everything has a cost. Good or bad, there is always a cost to change. There's always a cost to commitment. There's always a cost to our calling and our purpose and alignment, right? So if we think about leaving, there's upfront energy. We have to decide that we want to leave, right? We got to make the decision. Yeah, I'm going to do this thing. I'm ready. It's time. Like this doesn't align with me anymore. And then we make that decision, we need to start looking for jobs. So we got to go on LinkedIn, we got to go on Indeed or whatever the new thing is nowadays to actually look for the jobs that are available. We got to touch up our resume. Maybe you hire somebody to touch up your resume. Maybe you reach out to your homegirl that's good at resumes and have them take a look at it. And then you start applying. You have to start applying for jobs. You have to start seeking them out. Maybe you do the post on LinkedIn to say, hey, y'all, I'm in a season of change and transition. This is what I'm looking for. Please let me know if you know anybody in your community that has this expertise or in need of this experience that I have, right? That all comes with a cost. And then they call you. Somebody sees that post, they get your resume because you applied to the job, and they're like, oh, yeah, we need them. Call them in for an interview, set the interview up, remote, whatever. So you take the interview, and then you wait, and then you wait, and then you wait, and then they call you. And they don't just call you, they offer you the job, and they offer you the job with increase. So not only did you get the job, but you made increase financially. You got a promotion. Oh my God. And God forbid it aligns. It's actually what you've been wanting to do. You've been wanting to work with people in this capacity for such a long time. You've been wanting to serve in this capacity for such a long time. This is like your unicorn job. Oh, and let it feel what it needs to feel. You actually have the energy to do what you want to do. You're learning new systems. You do have a little bit of change to adjust to. Maybe it's a new team that you're talking to and you're dealing with as well. And maybe you have a little bit of a new flow of work that you have to align with, right? But this is the cost of leaving. This is the cost of leaving. And this is the energy that you get when you leave. You actually enjoy your weekends off. You actually leave work on time without guilt. They gave you unlimited PTO. You got extra holiday. They gave you paid holidays off. You actually get to go to your kid's soccer game and not miss it this year. Oh, your niece's birthday. You get to celebrate that. You get to show up energized, energetic, not depleted, not running on E. That project you've been working on in the basement, that construction work you do on the side for yourself, your little relief, you get time for that now. You actually get time for you. Oh, you can pause work midday and take a spa day for a minute and have your appointments. Oh, you don't have to start working until your meeting that doesn't start till 11. Oh, okay. You get time for you. This is the energy that you get to regain back to yourself because you are flowing and operating in alignment. And guess what? That is available. That is possible. There are many different positions that are out there that you can work towards, that you can create, whatever. that allow you to operate in flow and ease. There are a lot of companies that actually adopt the people first model, right? Because so many companies have the opposite, customer first, people last. This is when you start to see your employees trickle over like this. This is when you start to reach your max. This is when it feels too much or too heavy. This is when you start to have high turnover in your job, in your company. When you create models where it's customers first and people last. I think the ones that get it. The ones that understand that your people should truly come first are the ones that get it. And those are the ones that have employees that go above and beyond. They are committed. They love what they do. They give 110% to what they do because they also have balance in their lives. They have leadership that understands. They have people that operate in flow. This is the result of flow and alignment. I don't know what to say. You're actually enjoying your weekends off. You're making more money and you feel good about it. You're living instead of recovering. You're living instead of recovering. I think I got to say that one more time. You're living instead of recovering. There's such a difference in the quality of life. Which one are you picking this year? Which one are you picking? Let me know in the comments. Comment staying or leaving. Comment what it'll cost. Comment what you realized about this. What did I miss? Is it costing you more to stay right now? Is it worth you staying? How long have you been there? What is it costing you to leave? Comment. Let me know in the comments. Like, I've been reading your comments, y'all, and I mean, I'm here for the conversation because, quite frankly, at this point, we have some decisions that we have to start making. And I've said this time and time again. If you were to get an unexpected phone call tomorrow that completely changed your life, how would you handle the change of your life? And what would you do about it? When I got that phone call positive for stage 2 breast cancer, it's because my life was like this. And that changed a lot for me. And it's changing even more right now. Because guess what? This, I've had a taste of this before, and I'm getting back to this again. I told you guys I accidentally accepted a job that truly does not align with me, and I have outgrown it now, and it's been 1 month. So this is where we're headed. And I don't know what leaps I'm about to take, but I'm taking some. So I want to know what this looks like for you. Tell me in the comments. If you don't already know, I am Renee. I create conversations that bring you back home to yourself, to help you heal, and that gives you permission to choose yourself every single time. Okay? So subscribe, share this with a friend. Until the next video, friend. Peace out.